Well, what do we got? We got a privet. And some of you going, oh man, a privet. Well, they're not highly respected, but I think one of the best materials, especially if you're a beginner and you want some big things like this, look for people that's re-landscaping or people that have one privet and then it just spreads all over the place by seed. So, and the beauty of that privet is they're so hardy that it's almost impossible to kill. As usual around here, everything kind of grew. This was done, about a couple months ago, and it grows. And what happens is if you want good bonsai, you want it to grow and then you trim, because each time you do, it twists and turns, right? And that's how you get your ramification. So things that are slow growing, it takes you forever to get to a nice finished state, versus these that are so vigorous, then you just keep cutting away, and every cut improves the quality of the tree. Unless you screw up, of course. See? See, it's already, well, I've had this thing for maybe 2-3 years. It was growing wild, and then I cut it right here and then trying to create the new apex. So you dig it up. I would say you should have like 90, at least 90%, maybe even 95% success rate. And then you proceed to improve it. And so wait till we get a little bit closer and I'll show you what I've done. Because, well, very seldom are you going to dig it out and then have a perfect line in it. I've had a few that did that, but that's not reality, that's just luck. See, I think the last go around, I took my head shear. Well, I was going to do it this time, but, well, not everybody has a head shear, and it's not going to take that much time anyway, so, see? So now, you look inside here, we have the trunk, or the root flare, the trunk, and then there's a little bit of abruptness from here to here, but they'll grow. This too is a top grower, so the top will grow fairly rapidly and they get caught up. So I would say another 2 to 3 years, you'll have a perfect line. Well, here's that apex again. So get rid of that, and then there's a 1 line and 2 line going, so make sure it's a single line. And then, so this top part, we'll keep it fairly tight, but this part we're trying to make it grow, so we'll go ahead and try to keep as many foliage as possible down there. So, you know, you control your growth pattern by how you let it grow. Sometimes, you know, you see one of my stuff that has kind of a weird long branch somewhere. That's what I'm trying to do, is to make sure that you get this look, the taper. So I don't think you could ever over prune this thing, but you could see that it has great potential, right? And I'm pretty sure this is only 3 years, 3 to 4 years since I dug it out. So those of you that have access, so you can see that it has a good base, comes up, and then has movement. A little bit of abruptness right here, because that's where it was cut. This was probably a tall tree, maybe 10 feet tall. And then I cut it here, say one of the branches, and now we got this movement here, right? So just keep letting it grow. This will fatten up, and then it'll be a good transition from here to there. So I would say probably another 2 years. That means that from the time dug out to a good showpiece, we got 5 years. And if you tried it from a cutting, this will probably take you a good 20 years. Okay, so since this was such a quick trim, I'll go get another one. Okay, here's another one that's coming along. So I dug it out, probably cut it over here. This was one of the branches that's becoming the new leader. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I pruned this thing a couple months ago. And I think it's only about 2 years since I dug it out. But you can see it's got a really good trunk, right? So that's what you look for. When you're digging, look for the base right here, and then some movement. This probably went way up there and cut it. Like I was saying, these have very good success rate in terms of when you dig them up. In fact, in the past, I've been trying to kill some of these that's grown in the ground, and I cut it flush to the ground, and then it still came back. So anyway, Privets, underrated material, but I would say that, especially those of you that have access to people re-landscaping and there happen to be a privet. Actually, privet and boxwoods are highly desirable thing because the failure rate is so low. I mean, if it's free, then you might as well go ahead and give it a shot. But the thing with the privet and the boxwood is the success rate. See, and now it's got a pretty good shape coming up. I think about 2 years since I dug it out. Look at the wound right here, right? It's starting to roll over. That's because I have a tendency to just let it grow and then get a lot of cell division, then it'll heal over. And so, yep, this is right on track where it should be. Here's another one. I think this one probably only about a year, possibly 2, but a little bit less training, right? Down here is good. I cut it off here, and it's still lacking on top. So let's see what I could do with this thing. Okay, we got the wound. We want as much growth around it as possible to get it to heal, but there's just too many things around here. So I'm going to remove some, but I'll have extra just to see if I can get this to heal over. And then we go up this way, and then you can see the movement right here, right? So I don't want this as a new leader. Well, if I keep going like this, they'll keep fighting. So we want this guy to stay a branch. So we do something like that. And then up here. So as we get up here, we want to turn again. If we let this go, this will get fat, but we want movement. So we do that, right? And then this one, leave it uncut for now so that you'll go, all the energy will go there, and then we could cut back later. But this one has to stay a side branch, so we cut it like that. And that's how we've been getting the movement and taper without the wire. It makes perfect sense, especially at this stage, right? You just want it to grow. Yeah, I think it's only about a year to 2 years on this one here because it still hasn't started to roll over yet. But I think another 2-3 years, it'll probably be a halfway decent material. In 5 and 6 years, you could probably have a nice showpiece. Yeah, at that point, these get removed. But right now, I'm saving these just so that this will start to heal over. Okay, so let's analyze this. We're missing the root flare. I think it's down below. A lot of these that get dug out gets buried deep, so it'd be more stable. But it has a potential to become something. So from the cut, we are trying to create a new line, right? So it has taper and movement. But what we need is a little better transition. The first part is very fat, and then the next part is a little bit on the skinny side, but that will come with time. So on those, we'll have to keep a lot of these lower branches and things like that to get that trunk to do what it's supposed to. But anyway, like I was saying, if you have a chance to get a privet, do it, because it's great material for beginners. It grows so fast and it doesn't want to die. So anyway, this has been 3 privets that are in training. The first one had the best training. The next one had okay, and this one has the least amount of training. So you can see the examples of how these get developed. But even this one here, if you grew it from a cutting, probably take you 10 years to get to that trunk. And it just grew wild out here. So look for people that have a mother plant and then all these sucker that's growing all over the place, and most likely they'll be so happy if you volunteer to take it out for them. Okay, so this is Hiro saying goodbye. Give the privet a chance.